Boys being boys, having fun, trying to get a girl's attention. But behind the wheel, it proved deadly.
Tonight, we know distracted driving was the cause of the crash that killed 3 Wisconsin teenagers last week. And the story of exactly what happened comes firsthand from the only survivor. That young man talked with Fox 9's Scott Wasserman tonight, and he is in New Richmond tonight. Scott, it sounds like some fun in the car made them forget they were actually traveling on a freeway.
You know what, Heidi, you're traveling these speeds, you're young, you think you're invincible, and you don't think it can happen to you. Well, it did to these 4 boys that were in this car. This is a tribute here at New Richmond High School along the fence. You can see this tribute, flowers, there are words of support, condolences to them, to those 3 boys who died, and then this man right here, 17-year-old Tom Wanless. He is the sole survivor. We went to his house today, and he wanted to talk to us. He said it's good to talk about his friends. It's also good to remind people about the dangers of distracted driving.
I feel lucky, but I don't really want to say that because then again, you know, my friends weren't so lucky that I kind of feel like, you know, why was it me instead of them?
The pain 17-year-old Tom Wanless feels today from his broken collarbone isn't even close to the pain of losing his 3 best friends, Zach Zeich, Josh Goodrich, and Jordan Johnson.
This was really like the worst case scenario that could have happened.
Tom says the 4 friends were driving home to New Richmond when they saw a girl in another car and wanted to get her attention by writing their numbers down. Zach was driving the car.
He looked for a piece of paper in the center console, and Jordan did take off his seatbelt for just a second and tried looking in the back for a piece of paper when it happened.
Zach slammed his car into a semi at 65 miles an hour.
His attention was off the road for 3 seconds, and this happened.
Tom says 3 seconds. That's all it took to lose his 3 best friends.
This could happen to the best driver in the world, and this could happen to the worst driver in the world. So really, anybody that, you know, does drive, they need to make sure that their concentration is on the road and not on anything else.
He's an incredibly generous and caring person. Even when we were fighting, I think he took my car to get the oil changed more often than I did.
Standing by the memorial at New Richmond High School, Nicole Goodrich says she wants others to learn from her brother Josh's death.
The whole thing, it's stupid. It happens every day, and it just happened to us this time.
But she doesn't want it to happen to you. So whether it's trying to get the attention of a girl or you're on your cell phone, instead, pay attention to the road 100% of the time.
They didn't do anything wrong. There's not a why, they did something we all do every day.
I wouldn't be standing here today if I didn't have my seatbelt on.
And Tom says he's standing here, hoping you listen to his message.
Be safe when you're driving and know that this can happen to anyone.
Now, as you heard, 3 of the 4 boys were wearing their seatbelts, and Tom did say Jordan had his seatbelt on, but took it off just for a split second to look for that piece of paper. And that's another message he kind of wants to get across. You hear all the time, I took my seatbelt off just for a second to reach over to get something. You know, I've heard my kids say, can I take my seatbelt off just for a second to grab something? Tom wants to say, don't do it because that split second can cost you your life. Heidi, back to you.
All right, Scott, actually, Jeff here, you know, there are rules I know about the number of teens that are allowed in the car at one time. Were these young men breaking any of those rules?
No, they weren't breaking any rules at all. The driver's 17 years old. Here's the rule in Wisconsin. For the first 9 months of your driver's license, you can have just 1 person in your car if they're not immediate family. This driver, 17 years old, so he could have as many people as he wanted. You know, I asked Nicole, the sister of Josh there, what she thought about these rules. She goes, you know what, I don't think these rules would have made a difference, whether it was 4 people or 2 people in the car. They probably would have been reaching for something anyway. And the point is here, pay attention to the road. And that's what happened here. At least that's what she says, of course.
All right. Thanks, Scott.